Really do. We got Coach Mike Mincy as well as seniors Emily Gonzalez. Solid. I'd like to see where the stars off of the stick them up place game.
Yeah, Grand Valley is obviously as good as advertised. We knew it was going to be a really tough game. From the end of our regional championship, when I knew we were advancing, probably knew we were going to be an 8 seed and that we're going to draw Grand Valley. And again, they're obviously extremely solid. They're big across the board, and they got off hot. Started in the first quarter there, outscored us 32-8. Hit a bunch of threes. We had to pick our poison. Do we want to try to take away pain? Are we going to? And we didn't let them sit out and shoot threes, but they certainly did, and they made us pay. And we got in such a big hole that it was going to be hard to fight our way out. But liked our competitive spirit through the second and third quarters, getting outscored by 8 in the second quarter and 5 in the third. And then, of course, in the fourth quarter, Coach kind of emptied his bench, and we tried to get everybody in the game as well as we got outscored by 11.
Questions for either Emily or Jennifer? I know that it's tough right now, but this very successful senior campaign. Did you reflect on that at all and enjoy it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's honestly the reason I'm emotional. It's just been such a fun year, and I thought it was so impressive just the way that we took to adversity this year. And it hasn't always been easy for us, and we always figured out a way to get better from it. And you can see that from the way we performed in the SAC tournament, region tournament. And so it's been so fun, and I'm just so grateful to have been here for the last 2 years.
Emily, a similar question to you. You were part in 2 years ago, Sweet 16. Did you get to make it up here or to the Elite Eight? You got that this year as senior. What does it speed you to have done this after 4 years, Carson?
Honestly, just the experience. It's been really great being with my teammates up in, I always heard about the Elite Eight, and then finally being here is just it's different when you actually get to experience it. And I'm glad that I got to my senior year.
Mike, we've talked to your senior year. You just have one other team. This is a very young team. A lot of people coming back. Expectations have still got to be high.
Yeah, the way we ended this season, and I think Jen and Emily and Callie, kind of set the bar for next year's team. We weren't supposed to be here. We were the 5th seed in the Southeast region, and we played some of our best basketball down the stretch to be able to win that thing and get to earn the right to come here. And, the 8th seed, and you get to draw the defending national champs. And I told the kids in the locker room, we don't see Grand Valley in the Southeast region. We don't. And until you get to face it and you get to get on the court and go toe-to-toe with them, you have no idea just how good they actually are. And I've known it for a while. We went out and played in the tournament at Wayne State, and Midwest basketball is extremely good, and basketball in the GLIAC is extremely good. And I'm glad our kids got to experience it. Obviously you don't want to lose by that margin ever. But again, they got to compete, and they earned the right from the Southeast region to be here. And the score's irrelevant to me. They were winners, and they're going to get rings this year, and we'll celebrate that at a later date.
You talked about that experience, but so many people coming back now. They've had that. They know what's up to you. So
yeah, I think you have to get here to experience it. When I came in 17, 18 to get to watch some of the teams from across the country compete, I've always known it since then. Just how good teams are around the country, and again, especially from the Midwest area. And so we've tried to recruit in a way that we could, we call it trying to look like a Midwest team kind of thing. And it's really hard to get the amount of size that Grand Valley can assemble on their roster. And even when, Coach kind of emptied his bench and those are all his future stars, they were still big, and they're still trying to take advantage of some of our small size in there. But, again, in terms of these kids and what we've done, these underclassmen that are in the locker room now, you got to get here and you got to experience it. Now you kind of know what areas we need to improve upon to be able to hopefully do much better in our seeding and get here and not be the 8th seed and have to take on the 1 seed if we can get back here again. It's very difficult to get here in general, but we would certainly want to try to get here again.
Jeff, for you, Emily, what does this moment mean to you to be here, having played high school careers together, and now you finish out on the grandest stage you lead to?
Universe. Thing opens. Gosh, it feels really surreal. Like, I know Emily made a comment in the last press conference after we won region. Like, it just feels like deja vu. And to be able to sit there and reflect on that this past week, it's just been so awesome. And I just feel so lucky that I had this opportunity to finish it out with her. Bearden was an incredible experience, and this has been an incredible experience. And getting to be around Emily and all these other girls, like, I just can't. I'm so grateful.
I think that excuse me, sorry, but it's great in basketball, but I enjoy getting to grow up in a different stage together. Like high school, yes, but like college is like you go through so many things, classes, and then on top of that, basketball, like being able to have that like kind of person to experience a lot together. It's just like it grows that bond, and I've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed seeing us grow up together and maturing, and it's just been great. So this is great, but just outside of basketball, it's even better.
Any other questions for the girls? I liked it right there. I just have one. You started out February really slot there. You lost one row. What was the spark that turned this around to give you the opportunity to propel yourself to the Elite Eight?
Probably trying to find our identity. Again, at times we'd press and at times we hadn't, and you know, trying to figure out what worked best for us. And we eventually decided, you know, we're going to, and we've kind of done that in the past, get into tournament basketball. We're going to have to be more of a half court basketball team and do kind of like what we did tonight. You know, we were doing a good job early, trying to take away pain and help down and double down on their bigs, but when you give up threes like that, and then you have a hard time finding buckets on our end, you know, you get in a 32-8 hole, and it's hard to come back against a team of that caliber. But you know, we changed our lineup second half of the Wise game, and kind of went on a run there and played some of the best basketball of the year. And I don't know if there was really a spark. I just think that adversity that we went through, the kids decided that, you know, that's not who we were. And probably that senior day, we got whipped on senior day and went into the tournament knowing that we wanted to make a run and certainly could. And I mean, we wanted to just get to the NCAA tournament in general. And then we won that massive run where we beat 3 ranked teams in a row and became Southeast Region champs. Thank you.
Anything else? Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.